Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with My Son. This is a very special episode. I'm obviously joined here by my co host and podcaster.
Kian! We've got someone who's not quite a guest anymore, and someone who's here for their second time. That's
Ah,
important.
so
This is gonna be a great episode
this is a great episode. Kian, tell them why.
because it's a family episode.
Wow, we're becoming a family of podcasters. It's not just about Kian and me, and it's not just about our regular quote unquote guest Trisha, but we also got Mama back for another episode. This is a full family episode.
Hello.
Hi!
Hi Trisha, hi Mama, welcome
Hi,
to our
Mama.
episode. All right, I think Kian's planned this episode well, so I'm going to let him lead with the questions on this one. So Kian, why don't you kick it off for our special guests and not so guests?
Mama, Papa, what was your childhood like? Because we're talking about like what was your child, what was it like to be a child in the olden days, and
Wow,
how-
golden day.
And
and like asking about questions of the childhood now.
saying it's a good introduction, and so I'll let Mama start with her childhood
Oh,
and
my
what
childhood.
was it like?
Yeah, what was your?
Because I know her
childhood like?
adulthood was very exciting, but her childhood, let's see.
My childhood was a good one too. I grew up in the Philippines, in Quezon City. I went to a private school, an all-girls school. When I was after school, we would go out into the streets of our neighborhood and play with our neighbors. So it's fun. And every summer, I would do some lessons like ice skating.
That's fun. That's fun.
That's fun. Yeah, yeah. Ice skating. Swimming.
Both fun.
Yes, I do that every summer. It's not like here where you do it every week during the school term. In the Philippines, we would do everything, study during school years, and then do a lot of activities in the summer months. Sometimes we travel. I went to a lot of beaches in the Philippines because we had a lot of that. Um, that's it. I had a fairly good childhood, a very comfortable childhood.
Not bad. But
Yeah.
your
I
turn.
learned
My turn. My childhood was good too. I think we were very lucky in terms of everything we had.
You grew up in?
I grew up in Bombay, India. I still call it Bombay. Very, very attached to that name, and it'll be hard to get rid of it. Um, but I grew up in Bombay, India, and we grew up in a big joint family. There were a lot of kids and cousins and all of us, so we played together, and we had a good, comfortable life. I think the difference in our childhood was it was more focused on outdoor play and a lot of activities and a lot of playing time. So there was a lot of sports time outside, football, cricket, biking, because obviously we didn't have the distractions you have today. There were no phones, no video games. There were video games. We had the Atari,
Like,
but
also the game console.
yeah, it was very early, so we had limited time on that, and we had only one TV at home, so we had to share with a family of 11. So not everybody could do everything on the TV at the same time, and therefore we ended up spending more of our time outside.
Oh, one more thing I
Fun
forgot to mention is in my childhood we had help. We had nannies and we had drivers, something that we don't have with
Here.
you guys, yeah. And also going to school, I took the bus.
Yeah, we
A
did
bus
too.
picks me up and a bus drops me off.
We did that too. We had school buses to and from school till we
Yeah.
were very old, and we did also have help in India. But the more I thought about it, actually, in some ways that help was good, but in some ways it was not so good because the help was always around, which meant that
Papa didn't know how to do anything.
I didn't know how to do anything, and so when I
Yeah.
had to leave to go to the US, my mom, so your grandmom, was really worried. She was like, "Oh, I don't know how he's going to survive. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do anything because I didn't even know how to crack an egg to make my breakfast." And so she was worried that I would starve to death. But I did survive, and I learned all those skills much later in my life. But that way, my childhood was very, very protected. So, in some ways, you guys have it better. In some ways, we did.
I think that's interesting. I think that's very, very interesting.
I think Trishi has a question for us, right? Yes, Trisha.
Is it your turn to ask, Trisha?
How about you? What's your question?
What was your school then?
What was our school then? Okay, again, I'll let Mama.
She means what was your school like?
What was our school like? Like school life and how we went to
School
school?
life.
Yeah, Mama can answer some of that.
How do I answer this? my school was an all-girls school for one. You the two of you go to a co-ed school, which is a mixed school. But I grew up from kinder all the way to my secondary school being with just all girls. I went to an
Was that a good thing or a bad thing, Mama?
it had its positives and negatives. And I was picked up and dropped off by a bus, and I hung out. So that's an extra hangout time with my friends, chatting and playing inside the bus. It was fun. And then in school, we had plenty of time to play. We had morning snacks, lunch, and afternoon playtime, and we had this traditional Filipino games like patintero, agawan base, and ano yun? Langit lupa. These are things that you probably don't know anymore. What else? We had a lot of subjects in school, probably 11 or more, that we needed to study for. And that's all I can remember, actually.
Yeah, I think school was very different for us from what you have here. Um, Obviously, growing up in India, we had more subjects. We had science, maths, history, geography. We had to do 4 languages, so there was a lot of studying.
We usually have 6 only.
Yeah, so we had a lot more subjects, and then when you got older, your maths went from just basic maths to algebra, geometry, arithmetic, trigonometry. Then you diversified in your science. You went from just science to physics, chemistry, biology. So we had a lot of different stuff. But school was I'd say harder in India because there was a lot more homework. There was a lot more. In India, we had to memorize a lot, so we had to memorize a lot of things that we
Like
read.
timetables, I think.
Yeah, but we had to memorize like textbooks many times. So we could basically write long answers back in our exams.
Oh.
We had exams 4 times a year, and then our teachers were a lot stricter. So you know how
You're
here-
friends with your head teacher here.
Yeah.
You're so scared of our.
Your-
We call ours principal.
our principal, we were very scared, and there we would get punished if we were even slightly naughty. We could easily get our hand slapped, or be punished, or sent out of the class to kneel down for an entire day.
And there's none of that in the Philippines, but here, that's considered what taboo, right?
Yeah, so it's a different
here in
learning
the Philippines.
system, where in places like India and the Philippines, at least in our time, in, as you call it, the olden days,
The olden days.
it was a lot stricter, and teachers were more, let's say, generous with their punishments. So we had a lot more of that versus today, whereas now kids are almost protected and sensitized in many ways, because even things like, let's just say, use an example, right? Like, we've seen now kids, when they go out, there's helmets,
Helmet,
there's
knee
knee
pads.
pads, elbow pads, shoulder pads, back pads, stomach pads. Every pad is there. Whereas when we used to bike or skate or anything, It's like, just go do whatever, and if you come back with 50 scrapes, so be it. You've learned how to do it, and you adjust. So I think in some ways our childhood was a little more rough and tumble versus the little cotton wool protection that you're getting now in school and at home.
But our parents would say the same thing that we're telling our kids now. I think.
Probably it
It's
was
always like that.
every generation is different, but our childhood was definitely different.
Yes, that's a satisfying answer. But I'm not sure I would like teachers being generous with their punishments.
Oh yeah, you're
Oh,
not used to it, so
They're not going to be generous here because
Here
the
it's
teachers
not
can
allowed.
get in trouble
Yeah.
for that as well.
you will get in trouble.
Kian, Trisha, let's do one more question and then we'll flip it around to you guys. Mama and I have some questions for you as well.
What were your games like then?
I think
Games,
Mama already
yeah,
answered this for you.
I've answered that for it's actually harder to explain. It's easier to show it. Maybe YouTube will have it like patintero. It's so hard to explain what these are. Agawan based, but we had those similar board games that you have now, like chess and Uno and
Jenga?
Jenga. All these are
Scrabble, maybe?
Scrabble. All these were available back then as well, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's the same. We had cricket, football, tennis, all the stuff we talked about. We played a lot of board games as kids. Ludo,
you
Scrabble.
Wait, there's this what was this computer game? The one that eats.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man! Yeah, I had a computer game before also. Pac-Man was there.
Jinx.
And
But
I
computer games came much later though for us.
no, I remember doing
Mama
it when I was
Mama said she played it a lot.
yeah,
Wow.
I was
The-
so I could imagine you being addicted to your games now because I got addicted to my Pac-Man and
the-
Snake before as
The
well.
earliest computer game I played was in my friend Punkil's house in 1993. He had just come back from the US and brought his computer, and one of the first games he had was called Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? And
Yeah, I know
was,
that game
That was
also.
the first video game we ever played on a computer. Before that, of course, we had Atari, which had, a few games on it, and then there was the Game Boy console and
The
things
Game
like
Boy,
that.
yeah. Where
So there was
Mario
Mario Brothers.
Yeah,
That's
and they've brought it back. They've brought it back.
and Tetris.
Tetris. That's where we got you introduced to Mario, and now I think that's the biggest addiction you have,
You're
a Mario game, which is from the olden days. Ian.
They've brought the original back.
Yeah, they brought the original back.
Okay, come on. Now I think Key and Trisha, we're going to grill you a bit. Mama and I have a few questions, so
Now when we get grilled, it's fun.
let's see.
Oh,
Let's
you like
see.
being grilled, huh?
Let's
Yeah.
see how you handle the pressure a little bit.
So far, you're 8 and Trisha is 4, turning 5 pretty soon. You've not lived long, but your childhood is still fresh. You're living it now. What is the best part of your childhood so far? What's the best part of your childhood, kids?
Family, school,
Birthdays?
friends. Yeah, Christmas.
My
things like that. All the
birthday,
festivals.
friends,
Yeah,
I'm going to people's parties.
Food,
Going to people's parties.
Yeah, and I football, going out, going outside games, and last of all, video games.
Video games.
Trisha, how about you?
Watching TV.
Watching TV,
Yeah.
Trisha, how about you?
Watching
Frozen.
Frozen. Yeah.
Frozen. Trisha and Frozen make
Never ending love.
Trisha and Frozen make a joint appearance on all our podcasts. If you've noticed, where there's
Yeah.
Trisha, there's Frozen.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Whenever in every
Yeah.
podcast where Trisha is in, she always says Frozen
Yeah.
or Elsa.
But it's okay. We asked her what her favorite
Yeah.
part was, so
What
she's
else?
telling
What
us.
else?
What else is your favorite part? What are your other parts? You friends and school? Do you like school,
You like
Trishi?
school? Ballet.
How about ballet?
Ballet
And
and
then-
Acro.
acro.
How about your biking?
Biking
Oh.
and
Trisha,
Scooter
what's your
and-
what's the new favorite part of your the thing you've been doing on the weekend? You have to tell everybody that's your new favorite
Your
part.
new skill.
What's your
roller
new skill you've
skating.
acquired?
Roller.
Skating. I
Yeah.
think that was in mine as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Trisha's a little quiet. She's not telling us her secrets. So we'll wait for her to come back online. Kian, tell us. Okay, so in the short span of, as Mama said, your life and your childhood, what has been the most difficult part of your childhood, or what is the least favorite part of your childhood?
You kind of getting angry at me and homework.
Homework. Yeah.
Oh,
You don't like
And
homework.
schoolwork. Top 3.
top 3. Trisha, how about your least favorite parts of your childhood?
Oh yeah, I have one more.
What's the least?
Scootering. I thought you liked scootering.
Before, she didn't know how to bike and roller skate.
Ah.
So she loved scootering, but now it's become her least favorite because she knows how to bike and roller skate.
So for
I
those
think-
that don't know, Trisha's now multi-skilled. She's gone faster and faster. She was
Yeah.
scootering, then she was biking, and now she knows how to roller skate, and she just whizzes by, right, Trisha?
Yeah.
What else is your least favorite part of your childhood so far? Eating candy? No.
I think can I add in one more?
Yes, you
please?
can tell us one more.
Like some,
Don't know.
like just sometimes a few things that happen. And, just sometimes some people would just be rude to me.
Yeah. When people are mean to you.
Yeah, like bullying.
It's
Yeah.
okay. You don't like. We know you're a very kind soul, so you don't like people when they're mean to you. But let me ask you both one more question. Childhood obviously is very early phase, and you get to do a lot of fun things and a lot of good things. But there are also things that you see us as adults doing. That do you wish to become an adult soon?
No.
Wow, neither of you wish to become an adult at all.
They see us and think, wow, our lives are good.
Wow, that's amazing.
Actually, there's one thing.
So you don't mind being an adult, or is that something you're looking forward to doing when you become an adult?
Playing with a child.
Playing with.
I know. I remember 2 things you're very excited about being an adult. You don't remember, Kian? Driving
Oh yeah.
and drinking alcohol. Remember?
Yeah, I'm playing with a child.
And playing with a child.
No, I don't think he wants to drink alcohol. He just wants to taste his first sip of cider at some point.
Yeah, it's
That's
cider.
his thing.
Yeah, like okay.
Trisha, how about you? What?
Occasionally, because when Papa drinks his things, then
Kian wants to taste it.
Kian's very curious how it tastes like.
Trisha,
So,
how about you? What do you want to? Are you looking forward to being an adult? Is there something you want to do when you become an adult?
Jishy, go maybe we're buy pretty dresses.
pretty dresses, and she wants to be a tennis player.
Oh, Trisha wants.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't
No.
want. Can I just
Not
be a
really,
football
not
player?
Not really.
I want to be a
Okay.
football
Not really.
player.
Okay.
Oh.
Ballerina.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. All right. With that, Mama has one more question for
One
you.
second. Can I add again, please? I also want to be a football player.
Okay.
You want to be, and that's why you're excited to become an adult.
Okay.
What does family mean to you?
To both of you, what does family mean?
Happiness, love, playing,
Yeah,
Wow.
teamwork.
teamwork. Yeah, that's the best one, right?
Mama, what does family mean to you?
Everything that he said. Happiness, love, and just satisfaction.
Let's.
The feeling of completeness, the feeling of achievement in life.
Kian,
having a
isn't
family.
this something you want to do when you become an adult? Have a family of your own. Isn't that also a goal for you?
Yes.
Trisha, how about you? What does family mean to you?
Trisha has lost her voice. It's okay.
Oh,
Don't worry. She's out of ideas, I think.
no
It'll
problem.
come back.
It'll come back. All right. with that, I think we've maxed out. My God, this family episode can go on forever, and our audience may get lost in our conversation. But with that, normally, Kian, I end by asking you a word of advice or some tips for our listeners. Today, I'm going to ask Mama and Trisha for a word of advice for our listeners. Trisha, are you ready to tell our listeners a piece of advice? Let's hear it. Come on.
What's your piece of advice?
Is it?
You need to be loud. You
Go
need-
Come
on.
on.
Let the
Let's
others
hear it.
hear it.
What's Trisha's advice?
You don't know?
No
Mama?
advice. Well, advice about what?
Anything in
Childhood.
life, childhood, family.
Enjoy it, maximize it, and
Yeah. You mean like maximize your? You mean
I don't mean that you don't sleep because he doesn't like sleeping. But yeah, just enjoy
you
every
mean
moment.
maximize life, right?
Maximize life, maximize childhood because life time goes pretty quickly. Before you know it, you're an adult. That's how I feel now. Like, wow, I'm adulting. I'm in my 40s already. Wow, time flies.
Trisha, have you thought about a piece of advice for our listeners? I think I know. Yes. Tell us. Tell us what you're thinking.
What's your advice?
What's your advice for our listeners? They're waiting to hear from you.
Where's your voice?
Last week you gave them such wonderful advice. They
Wow.
want to hear again from Trisha.
Trishi,
No more?
I
Okay.
think.
Oh,
Wait,
go,
Trish-
go. Trisha wants to speak.
Try to like.
No?
Maybe Trisha's just.
Next time.
It's okay.
Why?
But if I was in Trisha's shoes and given how she approaches life, I think my advice, or if I was Trisha, would be enjoy life and have a lot of fun. Be naughty, be mischievous, and
Be cheeky.
be cheeky with your family because that's the best kind of fun you can have, right? Is that correct? We love cheeky Trisha.
I think I'd say the same kind of.
Very good. Thanks, Mama. Thanks, Trisha, for joining us on our podcast. And Kian, thank you as usual. Until next time, we'll see you on our next episode. Join us wherever you listen to your podcast, on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube, and anywhere else. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.